Okay, let's get started with a slip stitch and chain 3. 1, 2, 3. Then let's place 6 DCs in the first chain or the third chain from the hook. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Tighten that a little bit more. And then we're going to chain 2 and turn. So for every row, we chain 2 and turn, and that does not count as a DC for the next round. From here, we are going to place 2 DCs in each stitch. 1, 2. So to maintain that half circle shape, we will always be increasing by 6 stitches in each row. We will slightly offset them so the increases don't always happen in the same spot, and we can get more of a circle rather than any kind of edges or appear to have corners in that semicircle. So 2, and the last one. So we're up to 12 stitches in this row, and then we chain 2 and turn. So row 3, we're going to do 1 even double crochet and then 2 DCs in the next stitch, and we're going to repeat that all the way to the end. So 1 even in the next stitch, and then 2 in the stitch after. So you'll do that block 6 times total. You'll increase by 6 stitches in this row, and you should end up with 18 stitches total. A little helpful tip for when you're working this up, and if you're making a ton of them at once like I am, sometimes it's easy to go on autopilot and forget what exactly you are that you're doing. But in your last stitch of every row, that should be an increase row. So as a check, if you've somehow landed on an even stitch in the last stitch and you're not increasing, your count is off somewhere. So just double check. Okay, again, chain 2 and turn. This is row 4, so we're going to do 2 stitches of even double crochet, so we're not increasing in these first 2, and then we're going to do a double crochet increase in the next one. So 2 even, 1, 2, and then an increase, and we're going to repeat that again 6 times total. The end of this row, you should have 24 stitches. So 2 straight DCs and then an increase DC. This is so easy. Honestly, everyone's gonna think that you spent a bunch of time on these, but we are working these up live together, and I think each one just takes a few minutes. I think the harder part is figuring out which yarn you want to use, what colors you want to do them in, and how you want to dress them up, truly. I couldn't decide between the sparkly yarn or the faux fur yarn. Does it look like snow? Does it look like sparkling snow? I don't know. So I'm doing a mix of colors, and I'm doing a mix of, snow. Okay, so 2 even, and then again, notice your last stitch is always going to be an increase stitch. So I know I don't have a helpful tip along the way. You have to get to the end of the row to know if you've somehow skipped a stitch or added a stitch. But that's the end of row 4. We will double crochet and turn. And then last row, we do 3 even stitches of DCs. 1, 2, 3, and then an increased DC. So again, you're just increasing by 6 stitches in this row. And it's our final row. So at the end of this row, you should have 30 stitches total. So that makes the whole project only have 90 stitches. I'm not sure if you're like me and you just need to know how many stitches a project ends up being. I don't know, I get real nerdy and geek out on that. And you know, sometimes those stitches are in the thousands and thousands, and it seems a little daunting. This one's under 100, so yay. And now I'm blabbling and I've lost my place. Okay, so 3 and 2 in the next one. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. We're almost done here, guys. 1, 2, 1, 2. I think I may end up taking a little bit of green Play-Doh from my kiddos set and actually prop these up as little standing Christmas trees on the mantle. I think that might be super cute. And just let the Play-Doh dry and hold it in place. It's like toddler mom kid hack, but I think that's what I'm going to do. Maybe some white. I don't know. See what they have extra of. Probably not the Halloween orange and black that they're working with right now, but that might be pretty cute. Okay, so here we are, our half circle. We are going to sew this together. So leave a long tail, probably leave like 18 or so inches. Okay. And we're going to sew it up using that length. So bind off, repeat this as many times as you want trees, and meet me back here tomorrow to turn them into these little guys. So you know, that took exactly 7 minutes to work one, and I was chit-chatty. So you guys should be able to do it much, much, much faster. All right, thanks. See you soon.